Welcome to Application Security MythBusters, your podcast series for understanding the importance of clean code in a primarily digital economy. Our promise is to bring you some of the finest minds in the industry to help you and those you work with understand and learn how to mitigate against the risk inherent in application development. This information is brought to you by Cenzic, the innovative leader in application security risk management, vulnerability assessment, and compliance solutions. And here is our show host, Mandeep Kara, Chief Marketing Officer of Cenzic.
Hi, this is Mandeep Kara, Chief Marketing Officer of Cenzic, reporting again from RSA Live. And we're talking about Application Security MythBusters. And today our guest is Scott Gerlach. He's the IT Security Operations Manager for GoDaddy. Welcome, Scott.
Thank you for having me, Mandeep. Pleasure to be here.
So we'll be asking Scott some questions around some of the myths around application security. But before we get started, I would like to get your point of view, your thoughts on state of application security as you see it today.
Sure. I think application security has come a long way in the progress that people have made. The different technologies and knowledge that people are starting to gain around application security. A lot of companies are paying attention to the OWASP Top 10, starting to pick those things out of their applications. I think one of the big problem areas is a lot of people are using applications that other people develop, and some of those things have problems in them, and they got to keep them patched, maintained. We see a lot of things ending up in third-party applications that are malware, and then the site that's trusted by other users ends up with drive-by malware in it because of a hole in an application that someone is using from a third-party provider. So I think there's a big kind of an issue around that right now. But it's always getting better. The more people are talking about application security and making sure your code is safe, such as yourselves, the more exposure that happens there, the better application security is getting. So a lot of people doing really good talks about different holes, cross-site scripting holes, injection holes, all that kind of stuff. So it's got a ways to go, but it's definitely better than it was a year ago, and it's a lot better than it was 2 years ago.
No, that's certainly true. I mean, there's a lot more awareness than last year, for example, and more companies are jumping on it. But there's still about 99% of applications that are not being tested for security, for application security. And one of the myths that we hear a lot of companies are still believing, especially in the small businesses, is that if they have network devices like intrusion detection systems or intrusion prevention systems, that those are helping them protect themselves from web application attacks. Do you agree with that? And what do you think about that?
Well, I think it's part of the good layered defense, right? If you've got WordPress out there and there's a WordPress vulnerability, your IPS vendor can definitely help protect against that. It's going to take a bit before it gets there, but it's all part of your layered defense. So IPS and IDS are good tools to make sure that you're managing, maintaining, and monitoring security within your environment, but you have to know what's going on inside the code. If you're not sanitizing variables as they're coming into an app, that's problems, and IPS and IDS are not going to catch that ever, right? So IPS and IDS are solid pieces of layered security within your environment, but you also have to start looking at code.
And another thing we hear commonly is PCI, right? So payment card industry standard, which is a great standard, great step forward. But again, a lot of companies believe that if they have the PCI compliance checkbox, now all of a sudden their applications are secure. So what's your opinion about that?
So, my belief around PCI is the minimum thing you can do around security in your card systems. It's the minimum that you should be protecting your card holder data with. You always got to be going above and beyond what is in PCI. PCI sets very good groundwork for what you need to be watching so that you can make sure people are not accessing cardholder data, and if they do, you can recreate those events. But making sure that they don't have the ability to access cardholder data is just as important as making sure you can track those steps that when they do access cardholder data. So, it's just a good baseline, just like any of the NIST things. It's good to start there, but you got to build on top of it, and you really have to understand what your business goal and driver is to get yourself to a better security posture.
Well said. I also hear from some companies that they don't have external facing apps. So hey, why do I need app security? Because PCI tells me to only focus on external facing apps, and hackers only come through external facing apps. So why do I care?
Well, you care because the inside guys, the disgruntled internal employee, someone gains access to an insider PC, which happens. Then they've got holes in your apps, and they can start digging through apps. You definitely don't want some internal employee targeting other internal employees with malicious software. You definitely don't want an attacker gaining control of a corporate PC and then dumping malware into an intranet type of an application, because then you've got the entire company infected.
That's great. Hey, Scott, thank you very much for your time and sharing insights with us today.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys, and this is Mandeep Khera again signing off till next time.
Thank you for listening to Application Security MythBusters. The practices and approaches discussed in all of our episodes are based on both the vast knowledge of our guests as well as the thought leadership and industry expertise of those from the show's sponsor, Cenzic. We value your input, so please feel free to email us at mythbusters@cenzic.com. That's mythbusters@cenzic.com with any comments, questions, or topic suggestions for future shows. Additional topics in this series, related white papers, and more information are available on the web at www.cenzic.com.